Happy New Year and welcome to another Art for Budget video. In today's video, I'm going to introduce you to my new project called 2024, which I'm extremely excited about, so stay tuned. So this project actually I've been thinking about for a few years now, and it stems from another project I did a few years ago where I built an arcade table, which we still have and use, based around an emulation package called a RetroPie, and it runs a lot of the old 1980s arcade games like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong and things like that. What's nice about an arcade table is it's very social, it's very easy for people to sit around, you can put drinks on it, and it doesn't take up too much room when you're not using it. It was always a sort of a bit of a prototype, and I've always had this idea of building a better one, and that's what this project's all about. Now, what is different about this arcade table is that I want to make it steampunk. A good reference to me is things like the film The Time Machine, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Doctor Who. I thought it'd be fun if the game itself looked vintage, and that's where I came up with using this. This is a Vectrex. A Vectrex is a fairly unusual home game computer that came out in the 1980s, beginning of the 1980s. And what's unique about it is that it has its own cathode ray tube in it. Now, a cathode ray tube is how all televisions used to work, and it works by having an electron gun in the back of the screen that fires electrons at a fluorescent screen. What's unique about this particular machine is that actually the computer controls the electron beam directly, which means it's drawing lines which are perfectly straight. There are no pixels. Now that actually plays quite nicely into the Victorian theme, because the cathode ray tube was actually invented just before the turn of the century. In some weird alternate reality, this thing could have existed, which is great fun. Okay, so the plan at the moment is I've identified this trunk here, which I can buy new, but looks like it could have been of the period. One of the advantages of this is it's got a lid, which currently is hinged, but my plan is to remove the hinges, and then I can use the lid to actually cover the screen and controls when it's not in use. I'm going to try and build my own joysticks. I've got two of these brand new analog joysticks. I've actually started to look at how I'm going to build the circuit boards for those, and I'll do another video on how I've done that. I'm going to put brass or ceramic light pulls over the joystick shafts, so what you see visually looks to be of the period. So the controllers on the Vectrex have 4 buttons each, and I want those buttons to be usable from the table. So I've identified these Victorian style doorbell pushes, which seem to be absolutely perfect for the job. Again, they look period, and although there is a silver colored nut on there, it will be hidden once it's fitted. So what you see is brass and ceramic, again consistent with the time. The plan at the moment is to put a porthole over the top of the table and have a screen viewable through it. I'm slightly worried about the protrusion of the catch here, but we may be able to do something about that. I want the game surface to look like walnut, and I have found a company that will cut MDF with lacquered walnut to size. I also think the joysticks and the buttons need a metal plate to be mounted on, and I found this brass door push plate, which I think is going to be pretty ideal. Okay, and the final component, which is really important, is the software that I'm going to run on the Vectrex. As you may have noticed, there's something called PiTrex actually running on the monitor at the moment. Now that is a fantastic project that's been created by some very clever people that enables us to run old school arcade games that used vector screens like this. So games like Star Wars and Asteroids and Battlezone on this Vectrex machine, and it is fantastic. So this is something you just can't do any other way on any other machine. So the other piece of software I've got is something called Player 2, which is created by a developer called Jubbernaut from the Vectrex community, and it's a cartridge full of games specifically for 2 people to play. And he very kindly made a special cartridge for me where all the game names are actually Victorian in style. Ping pong is called Wiff-Wah, tennis is called lawn tennis, so very much to keep this Victorian theme. So there you go, there's the plan. I hope you're as excited as I am about this. If you are, please do subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos are being uploaded. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And if you want to keep me up the backside to actually get this thing done, buy me a coffee. My self-driven projects can fall by the wayside, but if other people are interested enough to actually sponsor me, I will definitely get this thing done. Thanks again for watching, and I'll hopefully see you on the next video. Take care.